Welcome back, folks. It's another week of the Inside the Dam podcast. I'm Howard Wade, getting things started tonight. Thanks for joining me. Tonight's show is brought to you by Papa John's. We're so grateful to them for sponsoring us, and you can reach out to them at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA. Place an order. Check out the deals they have. They always have deals here in Minot. And check out their several locations as well. We're also appreciative to the MSU Athletic Department for every week putting together athletes for us to interview. This week we are fortunate to have Jake Swirple and Justin Cash. I'm here with Swirple right now, and Justin will be on later on with Cole. So Jake, center here at Minot State, just tell us, give us some background, where you're from, what brought you here to Minot State, and how you're liking it so far.
So I'm originally from the Metro Detroit area in Michigan. So I'm a dual sport athlete. I play football and I wrestle here, and I'm double majoring in criminal justice and psychology,
Nice.
and I'm minoring in law and legal studies as well.
All right, those are my first majors. Law. I was a criminal law study major back at my previous university. How are you liking that? Let's talk about the classroom, because we know a lot of what you guys do is we see it on the football field for you right now, but student athletes, students first. Tell us, how are you liking that criminal justice major?
Oh, it's terrific. It's great. Like, I'm almost done. I'll be done in the spring with my criminal justice major, and then I got to catch up with my psychology next year. But yeah, for sure, I'm an academic All-American as well as an All-American on the wrestling mat. And so I take school as a high priority, and I'm really serious about it.
Hey, as you should be. You have the opportunity to be not just a football player who looks flashy and, like you said, wrestle, but it's good to see that you notice school is just as important, because no doubt you're thinking of pursuing law as a career when you're done. Yes, no?
There's a bunch of different routes I can take.
Mm-hmm.
I have to narrow it down soon, but yeah, for sure, I've definitely thought about going to law school. I've thought about also getting my master's in psychology, because it'll help me in the criminal justice field, and there's a bunch of different avenues I could take. I've thought about doing the military route as well. But yeah, I got to narrow it down, but there's a lot of areas I can go with both majors and my minor.
Smart. You have your options open, and that way you can, go to the drawing board when the time is right and make your decisions. Talking about Michigan, kind of chilly compared to Minot. I say kind of. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it gets cold, but not as cold here. But I like the cold.
You like the cold?
I do like the cold.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's do a little round robin right quick. Places that you would rather, aside from Michigan, being from Michigan. So if you had the choice, Michigan, Hawaii, that's hot and cold. What are you thinking?
Ooh, that's tough, because I've always wanted to see Hawaii too. I like hunting and fishing too, so it really is. It is a tough decision. Like you're saying, for vacation wise or living there.
If you had a week to do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure, I'd take a week in Hawaii.
A week in Hawaii.
Sure, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What if we say you got to be locked down there 6 months to live?
Ooh.
It's a longer time. You got to get kind of settled.
What kind of season is it though? Like, what is it during the summer? Is it during the fall?
Let's say spring.
Spring. I would say Hawaii, but also too, I want to say Michigan, because turkey hunting's good at that time also.
That's why I said spring. You said hunting.
It's tough. I would say, because I don't get a lot of time to go hunting and fishing because I'm so busy. I would say Michigan, because I want to go hunting and I want to go fishing.
All right, good. That's the idea. And understanding that Michigan is a solid place. It's where you're growing up. It's no doubt a lot of what you are now is because of your roots under in Michigan. So it's good to, remember where you're from and appreciate the things that you love. Now, you're here in Minot. You've been here for 3 years as a junior?
So I'm a junior on the field and on the mat, but I'm a fourth year in the classroom. So this is my fourth year, because I was a COVID kid. So I graduated high school in 2020, and my first semester was fall of 2020 in Minot.
All right. So, what I'm getting at, right? You've been here for a while. You can call yourself acclimated to the city of Minot. Just tell the people, let's start with about 2 or 3 places in town that you just love to eat, love to put those calories in town.
Definitely, I would say Homesteaders. Homesteaders is great. I would say Ebenezer's for sure.
We're hitting them off.
And then Bones Barbecue. How could you not like barbecue? That's a great one right there.
Bones is good.
And if I had to pick like 1 or 2 more too, Iron House is really good as well. Iron Horse, rather.
Iron Horse. I've driven past.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I mean, Spicy Pie, that's simple.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's right next to
Across
campus.
the street, they sponsor pizza every now and then. No offense to Papa John's, right? No
Yeah,
offense to
Papa John's really good. Hey,
Yeah.
Papa John's really, really good too.
Yeah, we love Papa John's, but we also can love spicy pie in the neighborhood. Love it. And the reason I mentioned food is because you mentioned you're on the gridiron right now, and when springtime approaches, you'll be on the mat. How does your body, man, handle all of what you put it through per week, fall and spring?
You know, I have one motor and it's full go, so I really don't, like, there's not a difference. Like, I'm in wrestling shape all year round when I'm playing football. So
Really?
I'm literally so after our last game against Winona, that next Saturday I'm going to wrestle. So I'm already starting my initial cut down.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm weighing about 295. And so I got about 10 pounds, but I'm a heavyweight, so it's not like a real cut, but still I have to watch my calories. But yeah, you know, I just have one motor and it's full go, and I don't really, you know, to put it in simple terms, like, notice it because I'm always going. So I don't stop, you know. I have full motor.
I guess that's really good to never have to worry about pacing yourself up here this week, this month, and a super low. But if you're always, like you said, in go mode, football's done, and wrestling, like you mentioned, I mean, a week after being done with the pads and having to go on the mat, I mean, that takes skill, man. That takes a lot of skill. Has it always been like that? High school too?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it's always been like that.
So you're definitely like in years of a rhythm of that then, going from football to wrestling. Man.
Yeah, so especially in college too, because we got spring ball. For football. So it goes football, wrestling, football, and then summer I have to train for the upcoming season. So I don't stop at all. I don't get a break. But I'm okay with that.
Summertime, what are you doing? Are you June wrestling, July football, or what?
A little bit of both. Yeah. So I'll do my training for football and wrestling. I'll get on the mat, you know. It's just, you know, I'll do my weight training, do my cardio, get on the mat, you know, do some skill development, you know. I'll go back home for about a month, but I'm still working out there and I'm still training. So I don't stop at all.
Because aside from the weights and staying strong and physically strengthening yourself, I was concerned more about, like you just mentioned it, the skill set of wrestling. Yeah. Wrestling is a true skill.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself disciplined and work on the craft?
You don't lose it. You watch wrestling. You go into the room when it's during football season. That's what I do. I like, Mondays are off days, so I'll go in the wrestling room sometimes and I'll watch, you know, and just take mental notes for, you know, all the moves. And you really don't lose the skill set of wrestling.
It's like,
you know,
embedded in the brain.
Yeah,
Muscle memory just starts clicking in once you take off the pads, throw on the kit for wrestling, and you're like, oh, look at me. I'm doing my little move.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any go-to move you would say? Don't give it away if you do.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't want to give it away.
You gotta go,
but
give a wink if you got a go-to move.
Yeah, I do.
All right,
I do.
When the time comes, you need those points, and you're like, all right, time to pull it up. Is there any point in time when you're on the mat, do you ever feel like, oh boy, what do I do? Like, in those moments, does it ever get like mentally draining? You're in a position where I can't do nothing?
No, I'm in full control the whole time, and I'm just locked in what I'm doing, and I'm just worried about my next move and my next takedown, and just working for the next takedown and you know, scoring points. You know,
because I'm sitting there on the sidelines doing stats for you guys, and every time I look, I'm like thinking to myself, if I were on that mat and I'm in a certain position, I'm probably looking at coach like, buddy, I'm done. Like,
oh no, can't have that mentality. I go on the mat every single time, and I know I'm winning. That's my mindset, you know, and, you know, I have the mindset of the Stoics, you know, Stoicism, and I'm really interested in that stuff, and Marcus Aurelius, and, you know, I read books on that, and, you know, quotes like memento mori, which means remember you must die, and then amore fati, which means love of fate. So, you know, I have that mindset embedded in my brain for everything I do, whether it's on the mat, on the field, in the classroom. And, you know, I want to honor myself and honor my family, and everything I do at 100% speed.
Hey, Minot State appreciates that mentality. And going into this weekend on the gridiron to the University of UMary, that is the attitude we need. Tell us, with a few days left, what is practice like going into UMary?
Oh, it's intense. Everyone knows. We're playing that team down south. We don't mention them. You know, it's a rivalry game. Yeah. You know, we got to go in to practice this week with the mentality that we're going to win and we're going to take back, you know, the trophy. And, it's not going to happen for them because we're better than them, plain and simple, and we're going to dominate physically up front, and we're going to make the right reads, and, we're going to come out of that game with a win. It's a rivalry week. How could you not love that,
This is their homecoming week, so they're getting their party started today, so you guys, towards the end of their week, will be playing spoilers from what I'm hearing.
What's that?
You're playing spoiler from what I'm hearing.
Yep.
That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to go into Bismarck, head on to the gridiron, and just spoil homecoming weekend for them. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Is there any final message you'd like to say to the people out there who has question marks concerning you guys going into this week and taking back what's rightfully yours?
Just keep the faith. A little bit of faith goes a long way, and see that light out the end of the tunnel, and believe in the Beavers because we're good. We've shown it. Sometimes when you're outside looking in, it might not seem that way, but we're playing really well. We're playing physical. We're getting better every week. We're practicing well, and, the energy in the locker room's great, and we're ready. We're ready.
Hey, we love to hear it. Love to hear it. Good luck this weekend and with wrestling season when it approaches. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Swirple.
Appreciate it.
All-American here at Minot State. We appreciate you, sir, for your services that you do both on and off the field because, again, and on the mat. You mentioned the classroom. Good luck with your endeavors in the future with law and everything, psych. If you choose to go that route, you have the options, man. You have the tools, and we know you're going to use them well. Next up will be Justin Cash. Cole Clementich, my partner, will be joining him for a few minutes here and Inside the Dam. But don't forget, 701-852-7272. 852-PAPA. You have the deals. It's too many. So many to choose from. And give them a call. They'll be willing to whip up a pizza for you tonight. If you like, you can check out the NFL game tonight. I'm sure the Vikings are making everyone hold on to their heads. I think it's an every week affair, but I don't want to get into those Vikings fan moments. But it was a pleasure, Jake, joining you here on Inside the Dam podcast. And I'm Howard Wade, signing off.
Live from the KMSU podcast studios, high above 11th Avenue, also known as Beaver Boulevard, inside Swain Hall on the beautiful campus of Minot State University. It is the Inside the Dam podcast. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back after that quick break. I'm your other host, Cole Clementich. Want to give a big shout out to Howard Wade for getting a good chat in with Jake Swirple and all that he has to tell to us. And what a great interview that was. So in case you missed it, be sure to check it out. Either you could scroll back here on the KMSU podcast live stream, or we'll have an extra copy on the MSU Beavers channel as well. That'll be posted right around sometime this week. But yeah, we just want to keep you guys informed of that. And also thank you for tuning in on the live stream if you are at this time. And thank you for all that support. And speaking of support, we want to give a big shout out to Papa John's, as they are the premier sponsor for the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot through your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring and giving us their patronage all throughout each and every Monday night. We go live at 7:30. You just heard Jake Swirple, offensive lineman and wrestler for Minot State University Athletics. And now on to our next guest of the night. We only have two tonight going on here. He is a punter and a junior from Parker, Colorado. Good state, if you ask me, by the way. And first team All-NSIC last season. Justin Cash joins us tonight. Justin, thanks for being here. How are you doing tonight?
I am great. How are you guys?
Oh, we're having a great time here. We're having a blast, and we just had Jake Swirple on. Kind of set the tone tremendously tonight. So, Justin, yeah, just kind of talk about your season, how it's going for you personally. We've watched you. So Howard and I, we've had the pleasure of broadcasting all your guys' games, and we see some of the stuff you're pulling off, and it's just like, how do you do it? Like the punting, it is not an easy skill to craft. Tell us more about it.
Well, how do I put this? So I started punting in high school. Actually, a former All-American, Army All-American named Isaac Power helped me learn how to punt. But ever since there, I have to thank my coaches, especially Coach Pham at Minot State. He's really helped me develop into the punter I am today. And this season, I've worked with him like probably 4 or 5 hours a day just perfecting my craft. I see a big difference now because I've been hitting more 50 plus yard balls now, and yeah, I have to thank him for that, really.
And not only that, the distance, but to also be strategic. And when you guys are maybe just slightly past midfield, but you're not quite in field goal range yet, you got to punt, and you're able to pin them down inside the 10, inside the 5, maybe even rolling outside of the 2 or 1 yard line. How tough is that to pull off? Like when you experience one of those moments, just how excited do you get? How pumped do you get after witnessing that?
Oh, it's there's no feeling like it, just putting them inside the 5 and making sure their offense has a hard time going across the whole field. But I remember the first time I tried to hit one of those punts, and it's hard. It's really hard. You got to really focus on what you're doing because you got to remember you have a rush coming and you have people trying to block it so they don't get pinned. And yeah, it's definitely very hard, but one of the most exciting things to do as a punter, I would say.
I've told Howard, you guys, and not from you in particular, but the rest of the special teams unit, it's been making a lot of plays this year. Some have been kind of, bipolar, kind of a few screw-ups here and there, but you guys have been making plays, especially last week. And that return touchdown by Nyland Miller-Levi, what have you guys, obviously you talked about a little bit on Mike Famiglietti, but just talk, what have you guys, work on in practice? And do you ever connect with some of the returners? Obviously you work with the kickers, but do you work with some of the returners and, all that stuff in practice a little bit?
Yeah, every day we have practice. The first 10 minutes of practice, I'm working with the returners. Nyland, Carson Crispin, all those guys. Like, I'm hitting them punts that look weird. They, the high ones, the short ones, the ones that fall short, and how they deal with it. So, and they're doing a great job. Carson Crispin's phenomenal punt returner. Nyland, obviously a great punt and kick returner. And, yeah, it's a lot of reps with them every day. Yeah.
No, that is good, and good to get those reps in, that little bit more of that practice, to be able to perfect your craft. And, speaking on, so your season, yourself as an individual, how have you felt through, we're actually right through all your guys' home games. There are 5 of them. All are done now after this past weekend against Minnesota Duluth. How do you think you felt throughout, and, just kind of talk your personal aspirations from this past season?
Well, we started the season, we have a new head coach, and I was really excited. We were fall camp, it was hot. Like, we're ready to start the season. Everything's great. We may have not gotten the start that we wanted to this season. Like, that first home game was supposed to be electric, but, I mean, the team itself, we've worked on bonding it better, and we got our first win against Concordia, and that felt just as great as it would if we won that first game. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely been up and down a little bit, just because that's how the season goes, especially when you are 1-7 right now. But it doesn't feel like we're 1-7 because I can see we're getting better every single day in practice, and yeah, the coaches are supporting that and everything. So it's a good environment, really.
No, I think it's very honest because we up in the booth, we see it a lot as well. Like you guys, not just on special teams, the defense has been making plays. The offense has been improving a lot, although the record doesn't show it. You guys really have made a lot of strides this year, and, going forward, that's, good for potential growth, and moving forward, maybe more of those matchups can be a little bit closer, more nail biters, maybe even get a win against Southwest Minnesota State down the line, and, just all the possibilities are endless. But as Howard was asking Jake earlier, you guys have a big matchup against the team down south.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of preview that from your perspective a little bit.
I mean, the rivalry game here, it's always big. I mean, we have a giant trophy with every year who's won and everything, but Minot State has dominated that trophy for the most part. And
we love to see that.
Oh, yeah. And we don't plan on giving it back to them. We don't want any part of that trophy being down there. It belongs here in Minot, and definitely an exciting week. Very exciting. I can already feel the energy in the weight room and stuff. Like, it's going to be a good game.
No, that is really cool. All the hype going into it. It's always a game to highlight on the calendar each and every year, no matter what, either in Bismarck, in Minot, whenever it is, the closest team and in-state rivalry, those just mean a lot more. And so moving ahead, you have that game against UMary, just kind of talk, the rest of the way here. What do you guys hope, for you on a personal level and, from a team perspective, what do you guys hope to accomplish? After UMary, you got a non-conference against Michigan Tech, which is a little unusual. There have been non-conference games in the past, but first one in a while. So one against Michigan Tech and then wrapping up the season against Winona State. And what do you guys just hope to accomplish, from a team perspective and you on a personal level?
So the team itself, these last 3 weeks we're hoping to go 3-0. Like for these last 3 weeks, I think we have a serious shot with Mary, Michigan Tech, and Winona. I know the first out-of-conference game I've ever been a part of is going to be really exciting. They're about, 12, 13 hours away up in the Upper Peninsula.
Long drive. That's
I know.
Yeah.
It'd be a crazy drive, but I'm excited to get after it, and it'd be kind of cool to see what other conferences have with football-wise and stuff. And personally, I just want to keep doing my job and make sure I help my team out as much as I can and put their team in horrible field position and just keep doing my thing, really.
Yeah, keep doing your job. Yeah, you got plenty more chances this weekend, and UMary, it's like we've said, it is always a game to highlight or circle on the calendar, on the schedule, and they're going to be just as hungry. But you guys, like you said, on the trophy, you guys have had a lot of success against them in the past, so be on the lookout. This could be a lot of fireworks coming up here in Bismarck. But moving away from the gridiron, Justin, talk a little bit about your campus life. So obviously you're a junior right now, so you've been a little bit more experienced. You were able to kind of witness a few things here and there. You see stuff, you hear stuff, but talk us through, as an established Minot State student here on campus, what do you like to do on campus? Actually, first off, before we get into that, talk about your major and a little bit more on your classroom studies.
Okay, so my major is kind of a weird story. I came to Minot State as a cybersecurity major, and
good program, by the way.
It's a great program. But 2 years in, I decided, I was like, I'm not really into cybersecurity, so I went to management information systems, and another great program to be a part of. They have the amazing staff to support that. But then I was like, I don't want to do anything with computers anymore. Like, I've kind of grown up. I figured out who I really was, and I'm a general studies major now, and what I hope to do with my life is just be a real estate agent and help build houses and stuff. I love building houses and stuff, but other than that, my on-campus life, I love to hang around with friends and doing all the events that MSU Life hosts and stuff. It's no other. It's so fun. All the giveaways they have, it's really fun.
Yep.
I love it. It's amazing.
Bingo is a fan favorite amongst most of the athletes we've had here on the show. And, what are some other things, you like to do on campus, aside from MSU Life? Any favorite study spots? Are there any certain, places on campus you like to go to? We have the Beaver Dam, we have the CAF. What are some spots you like to hang out on campus?
My favorite study spot has to be the library. In the rooms, I love being in those rooms because it's easier to get a group of people to just collaborate on a project. I love that. But my favorite hangout spot, I have to say the Dam, because you got the pool tables, you got all the chairs, and you even got gaming systems if you really want to use them. But I usually go there to hang with my friends, play some pool, and just talk and catch up with a lot of people that I haven't talked to much my freshman year. That's my big thing.
I'll be honest, I do not spend a lot of time in the Beaver Dam, and they always have on the big screen either ESPN or a live game happening, and I got to take advantage of that more often.
Yeah.
But no, it's really cool, just to be able to take advantage of all the resources on campus. Have you had any classes in Hartnett Hall before it was started the remodeling process?
I did. My freshman year, I had public speaking in there, and it was kind of a confusing hall for me to get used to at first as a freshman, but the remodel right now, it looks amazing. I'm really excited to see it. No,
I'm with you there. It's going to be super nice, and I was fortunate to get a couple tours. It was still kind of in its, lowly stages, and, the outside they were still adding bricks, and once any of you in Minot who are driving by on campus, once you see it on 11th Avenue, it's just beautiful. So, yeah, be sure to check that out for sure. And Justin, just kind of talking here more about your future aspirations or your goals. What do you hope to do with your degree? And for the rest of your college career, what do you hope to learn? That both in the classroom and on the gridiron, what do you hope to accomplish? What do you hope to learn? And just kind of briefly or expand on that a little bit more.
So since I'm a general studies major, in the classroom, I really hope to achieve just learning various different types of subjects. I want to just kind of explore, see what's really out there, and so I don't limit myself to just business or computers. I just want to know more about everything. Now on the football field, I hope to accomplish since I was first team all conference last year, I obviously want to try and be first team all American this year, and I'm going to try my best to do that. And yeah, I mean, my future with my major and stuff, I don't really know what I truly want to do, but the real estate option's my big plan, because I grew up building houses with my stepdad and helping them sell their houses. My mom, we've sold about 4 houses together and stuff, so that's what I hope to do.
There you go. And we wish you all the best of luck in that future career, your future endeavors, and all the best to you and the MSU football team the rest of the season. 3 more road games left to go. Big one against UMary this Saturday at noon. Justin, is there anything else you'd like to mention before we sign off here?
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
No, thank you for being on, Justin. We appreciate your time today. So, yeah. And, folks, there you have it. Justin Cash, junior punter from Parker, Colorado. He joins us as the second of only 2 guests taking place here tonight on the Inside the Dam podcast. And wrapping up the show here, folks, we're going to get into a little bit more events here to promote. But, yeah, so earlier you just heard Jake Swirple, offensive lineman and men's wrestler, and, of course, just now, Justin Cash, punter from Colorado. And that is going to do it for us. Before we sign off here, I just want to give a big shout out, of course, to Howard Wade stepping in earlier today, and Owen Patterson making his Inside the Dam podcast debut. And Owen, we have a few graphics on the iPad there if you want to pull up the red one with the white stripes pattern. And that is going to be your list of upcoming home games this week. Really not a whole lot to highlight. They're just a couple of women's basketball scrimmages. They're not actual real game time environments, but wouldn't hurt to check them out and see what they got going on. I believe 5:30 on tomorrow and 3 o'clock Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And then wrestling inter-squads, both men's and women's, on Saturday, 2 o'clock is the start time for that. And Owen, if you want to pull up the women's wrestling one, it's kind of the black and red lines with the little team red, team white, or team red, team black graphic. There we go. The women's wrestling, inter-squad duel, 2 o'clock this Sunday at the MSU Dome. And yeah, just ignore the streams starting soon text. That was for the pre-show segment. And then Owen, there should be one more. The Beat UMary football, Minot State. Of course, we were just talking about it. They traveled down to the capital city to take on the team from down south. And that is going to do it for us. Of course, we want to give a big shout out to Papa John's, as they are the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for any and all deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and Papa John's for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. Wrapping it up, the show on behalf of Owen, Howard, and Jake and Justin, our 2 guests tonight. Folks, I am Cole Clementich signing off. We'll wish you guys a good rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week.